Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the preview as we look ahead to Town's trip to Accrington Stanley tonight. I'm delighted to say we're joined by former Town player Darren Ambrose. How are you doing, Darren?
I'm very good, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. I'm well.
Good.
It's been a busy weekend at the club, obviously, with the departure of Paul Lambert and his assistant Stuart Taylor. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think it's the correct decision. It was one of those decisions. It was actually made while I was on the radio show with Darren Bent, and we both felt the same thing. Perhaps it was delayed a little bit than it should have done. Perhaps it should have happened earlier. No one wants to see a manager lose a job. Absolutely not. You don't want to see any human being lose a job. But the time was right. It was kind of getting stale. I think speaking to a few people I know, a few of the fans, you kind of get the impression that they didn't feel we was progressing at all under Paul Lambert in 2.5 years he was in charge. So, my son's in the academy, so I've still got a lot of love. I live in Suffolk. I've got a lot of love for the football club.
Matt Gill's going to be in charge at the dugout tonight at the Wham Stadium. As you'll have seen earlier today, Paul Cook has been named as the new Town boss. What are your thoughts on that? Good appointment?
Fantastic appointment, yeah. Look, I mean, I discussed a little bit. I put out a tweet. I discussed on the radio with Benty that could they give it to Kieran Dyer? He's in and around the club. He's a local guy. He knows what the fans want. But it's a little bit early. I understand that. I'm sure his time will come, and I really hope it does because I think he's going to be a fantastic coach. But Paul Cook as well. This is a great appointment. He's got a proven track record for numerous clubs. I think he got Chesterfield promoted from League 2, Portsmouth promoted from League 2. I think he had a successful spell at Wigan where he got them out of the League 1, and he had a fantastic cup run with them, if I remember rightly, a few cup shocks. So it's a good appointment. And like we said, if we want to progress, you need a manager that knows the division, an experienced guy that knows how to win games in these leagues because they're tough leagues. We've got the players, we've got the squad. Paul Cook will know that. He'd have seen the squad. He'll be excited. I'm almost certain of that, and I'm really hoping he can hit the ground running. And we're not far away from the playoffs, so if he can hit the ground running, who knows what the future can hold in this season alone?
Absolutely. So 2 points off the playoffs after the back-to-back wins against Hull and Doncaster, and no doubt as a player in your career, Darren, you've been involved in when there's been a managerial change. And what is that? Just give us an insight what that's like as a player. Do the performance levels raise? Is that just a natural thing that you want to impress the new gaffer?
Absolutely. You have they call it a honeymoon period. They call that with the new manager and the new players. It's a fresh start for absolutely everyone. That there's a lot have been said. I don't know the ins and outs of a lot of things that have gone in the club because I do speak to Chambo a lot. I speak to Searsy, but nothing in depth into what's actually going on in the club. So I look at Jackson and Nolan that seems to have been banished a little bit from the squad. So this will be a fresh start for them, and all the players that's been on the peripheral, all the players that have not been getting in, the young players, a new manager coming in, they're looking at everyone. They want to create their own team. Of course, they'll get to the summer, they get to transfer windows, they'll bring their own players in. That's inevitable. That's going to happen. But it's a fresh start for everyone. And it's normally good, especially for the ones that have not been playing, because you go again, you show the manager what you can do. Who knows? The team he's probably got his idea of the team. He'll know. Like he said, he's a very experienced guy. He knows the players. He knows the league. He'd have done his homework before he come into the club. So, it's exciting for the players. It's exciting for the fans. And look, let's hope we can get the fans back in the stadium as soon as possible. And we're on form when that happens. That'll be the ideal situation.
Yeah, 3 points tonight, and if results go our way, we could be in the top 6 for Paul's first game at Gillingham on Saturday.
It was on a barren run of games. Of course, it was difficult, but I think unbeaten in 4 now. Won the last 2 games. This is what we say. It was kind of Paul Lambert has gone when they hit a bit of form, but Paul Cook come in. And everyone's going to be confident. They're going to be high of confidence, like I said, and they're going to go into these next games. They get a victory today. They leapfrog above Accrington Stanley, which I think they're only below them by 4 goals, I think, at the moment. So they're level on points, but they leapfrog above them. And like you said, come the weekend, could be sat in a playoff position. And that's what you want as a manager. What a start to the season. If we can manage to grab this win tonight, you can go in 3 games in a row going into the weekend. Confidence is sky high. And like I said, if he can hit the ground running, could have a successful season.
Yeah, moving on to just looking into the game a bit more in detail. I mean, Accrington, who would have probably thought that they'd have been sat in 7th place come March?
No, I mean, it's a fantastic achievement for them. And, they're trying to play the right way, of course. But I don't know. I look, they're in a situation that Ipswich was in a couple of weeks ago. So they've not won in 3. I think they've got a couple of draws and a loss. So we need to take advantage of that. These are the teams you've got to beat. Before the 4 games prior to these, Donny, Hull, I think Oxford and Northampton, we got 2 draws as well. Before them, we was on a bit of a barren spell, and that's where Accrington Stanley are at the moment, and we need to take advantage of that and get the victory.
Does it make it a bigger game that the clubs are joint on points and battling to get into that top 6?
Yeah, you could say so. Because, like I said, we sit below them on goal difference. You get a victory, you go above them. It's always nice when you're, like you said as well earlier, we've not really been expecting this because how it was prior to the 4 games, kind of almost ripped the season off. A couple more defeats could have ripped the season off already, but kind of turned it around. So this for me is a big game. And with the new manager watching on, this could mean a lot. And like I said, you're playing not for your future at the football club, but you're playing for your future games. You want to be in that team. So this could be an exciting spell for Ipswich in the coming weeks.
I mean, just in this sort of mini revival that the club are on, I think on Saturday we only had around 26-28% possession, whereas earlier in the season we were the team dominating the ball with 60-70% possession. What have you made of that slight tweak, Darren?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that aspect of the game, then stats probably you can say the stats are irrelevant at the moment, especially this time of the season, because you take 29% possession and victories, you would, because that's what you need. And you look at teams down the bottom, you look at teams at the top, there comes a point in the season, performances, although they matter, they don't really. You need the results. And like we've discussed this spell we've been on before the 4 games, we just needed results. So it didn't matter how they came. Scrappy 1-0, I think, against Hull, was it, when Norwood scored, and good performance against Doncaster. So that's what you want. You want to just go and win games. And I think the point has come. I think Paul Cook could change that once he comes in. He could look to play his stuff, his style, stamp his style on the team, but just get victories, get them points on the board. Because when the stadiums are less full, as they are now, performances are not too much of an issue. When the stadiums are full, you want to impress everyone. But, with no one there, you just want to pick up points. And that's all. That's the be-all and end-all at the moment.
Yeah, just looking at Accrington a bit more, Dion Charles and Colby Bishop, I think they've almost got 20 goals between them. I mean, they've got to be the target, the danger men, haven't they?
They're the 2 you want to stop. Absolutely. Yep. It seems if you stop them, although they've got some other good players, I think Pritchard as well has popped up with 1 or 2 goals. You stop them 2, you're more than likely going to have a chance. So, it would be a big ask for our defence. But if you get a clean sheet, it's that old saying, you get a clean sheet, it's at least a point. So the defenders are going to come out and they're going to see that these are the forwards. You always come against players that you think these are the forwards that are good in this division. So can we get one over on these guys? So they'll know about them. They'll do their homework, absolutely. And it's a big game for them. The defence, if the defence comes out on top, then I've got no doubt that the forward players for Ipswich will pop up with 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah, let's hope so. Who do you identify as Town's key men in this one? I mean, I know you played with, during your later spell at the club, with Bish was probably just breaking through into the first team. Played with Searsy as well. Who do you see being the danger men for Town?
I mean, them two you mentioned, absolutely. I mean, Searcy, I know he's been in and out of the team this year. I'm not sure if the previous manager was having him as such, but like I said, this is the guy that he's a fantastic player, fantastic finisher. When he first joined the club, you know, I was there obviously on my short-term contract. We was calling him Michael Owen of '98 because that's what he was like. He broke into the Ipswich team, was absolutely brilliant, and that's what you want to see. You know, and this is what we're talking about, the fresh start for players, a fresh start for Searcy, and I'd love to see him back in the team. I think you mentioned Bish, hampered with injuries when I was there, which was disappointing because he's a very, very talented guy, and him along with Andre Dazelle, they can run games on their own. I really like Dazelle. I think he tries all the right things. He's still young. He's going to make mistakes because when you're trying them intricate passing and you know, you're not always playing backwards and sideways. You know, you're not playing safe. You try the pass. You're going to make mistakes. Yeah. You just got to continue to do it and keep your confidence. So them two are definitely some key men. And Norwood, look, he's on a good run of goal scoring form of late, 2-2. So it's good to have him firing. You'd rather have him firing than not, of course. So yeah, it'll be nice that he can get on the score sheet again, get 3-3 and. You know, my old mate Chambo, the skipper, you know, he's still going very, very strong, and it'll be brilliant to see a promotion for him this year. It'll be brilliant.
Great. So thanks for that, Darren. We've just got some fan questions I just want to put to you. So the first one's from Julie, who asks, who was the best player you played with at Town?
Oh, wow. I mean, look, we had a fantastic team back then, didn't we? It was brilliant. Martin Royce, Finidi George, like playing with him was just outstanding. You can mention any of the defenders, Vino, Herman. The two midfielders I played with were brilliant in Jim Magilton, Matt Holland. You know, I'm really very good friends with Matt Holland now. So, and Jim was absolutely outstanding, by the way. Brilliant player, but I've got to go with my old mate Darren Bent. I think he went on, played for England, had an outstanding career, and you know I'm on the radio show regular with him now. So if I don't say him, I think he'll be having words. So yeah, I'll go Darren Bent.
Next one's from Rob, who asks, "What was your favourite game that you played in as a player at the club?"
Sheffield United at home. Yeah, no doubt about it. Absolutely brilliant. You look back to your debut, and my debut against Arsenal Highbury, outstanding, and then my first start against Walsall, I scored. But listen, that Sheffield United game is one of my all-time, if not my all-time favourite game of my whole career. It was outstanding to go to 10 men with Canago getting sent off, and then them going 2-0 up, and you know. I don't even remember the halftime team talk. It would have been one of those. I think Jim would have probably taken most of it and just said, let's just make a good account of ourselves in the second half. Let's not get beaten 5 or 6, you know. And we really just stepped up a gear. And Neil Warnock, obviously one of my favourite managers because I played under him in my career, and he was brilliant. He was their manager, and I remember taking the song off them when we scored our goal, and it was just brilliant. And to pop up in the last minute, I crossed it in for, like I said, my old mate Darren Bent to head it in. I'll never forget that. And just thinking about it now, that the stadium being full and it was absolutely rocking and celebrating in front of the North Stand as we were, it was just outstanding. So yeah, definitely Sheffield United.
The final one, Darren, is from Jake. He wants to ask, out of everyone who you played with at Ipswich, who would make your five-a-side team? Tough one.
Wow, I absolutely love that. Right. I'm going to have to say Richard Wright. Now, I didn't play many games with him. He was there. I just about broke into the team and he was there. And so he was outstanding. We all know what Richard Wright, and again, the injury he picked up when he was a bit further on his career probably hampered his career as well. So I'll say him. Big Herman, definitely got to have him at the back. No one is getting through Herman. I ended up playing with him at Charlton as well till when I was there, and he was an absolute nightmare to play with. And
he'd pop up with a goal as well, wouldn't he?
He'd pop up with a goal, yeah. Well, we'll try and claim a goal and then dive into the fans. That's probably what normally used to happen. Yeah, I mean, I'm not picking myself in this team. So I think I'll go the two I mentioned, Matt Hall and Jim Magilton. I think Jim will obviously find them intricate goals, and you know, he will make you play. I played under Jim when he was manager as well, and you know, it didn't go as well as I'd have hoped, you know, as a player playing for him, because he's a fantastic player, and it just didn't kind of work. And you know, it's one of the regrets in my career that it didn't work, because he was outstanding. And Matty, my old roommate at Charlton, you know, he'd play every game. You know, he'd fantastic captain, and a club legend, let's face it. And yeah, Darren Bent up top. I mean, anywhere in and around that box, he's going to score a goal. Absolute poacher, brilliant player. So yeah, I think that five-a-side team would give everyone a good game. And no, I'd be lucky to make the bench with some of the players I played with. So yeah,
some team. Just to finish off, Darren, could you just give us your quick score prediction for tonight's game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be it's going to start. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be tight. But I just think the confidence that Ipswich have got going into this game, and the lack of confidence that Accrington Stanley have got, I think it could be quite comfortable in the end. I'm going to go a 3-1 victory to Ipswich.
Fingers crossed. I hope you're right. Well, thank you for coming on, Darren. Really appreciate your time. That was episode 2 of the preview. So, Town fans, thank you for watching at home as well. And don't forget, you can still buy your match pass for tonight's game against Accrington Stanley for £10 on iFollow Ipswich. Thanks for watching.